I was giving moments for people to join. But I was saying thank you, and please make sure to share this event with your community and spread the word. I know if you're like me, volunteering and donating just doesn't feel like enough. And this is why this space has been opened and created so that community members and people out in the world who really want to do more can come together and really share their gifts, share their knowledge and wisdom to really help us rise from the ashes together. So with that said, I want to thank you all here for being today and for just being a beacon of light for the community and for the world and our nation. So thank you. So I just wanted to also remind everyone of the intention for this gathering is to come together in a space when devastation happens all through the world, and it happens often. And sometimes we don't see the light. We don't feel hopeful. We feel helpless. We feel afraid. And I wanted to remind myself and you all that there is so much that we can do for ourselves and for our community. And today we have beautiful Hendrik and Sanni that are going to demonstrate how mindset and natural holistic modalities and just your mindset alone can really help bridge that gap between fear and faith and dark and light. So thank you again for being here. And with that, I just wanted to do a quick 2-minute grounding meditation so that we can just come into this space and open our hearts so that we can be here together in one as a unity. So please just find a comfortable place, position to sit. And we're gonna just rub our hands together and put it in our heart center. And just begin by finding a comfortable position with your feet flat on the ground and your hands resting gently on your heart or on your lap, whichever space you would like. You can close your eyes if you feel comfortable. Take one deep breath in through the nose, and as you slowly exhale through your mouth, just imagine yourself relaxing. Let's do that again. Breathe in. Filling your lungs with fresh, calming energy. And as you exhale, just release the tension and the heaviness and any worries that you've been holding on to. Now I ask you to bring your attention to your heart. Place that hand, whichever hand, on your chest, feeling the steady rhythm of your heartbeat. And with each breath in, imagine yourself breathing in the light and love. And with each breath out, imagine releasing fear, releasing that tension and anything that no longer serves you. Let's take 3 more breaths together. Breathe in peace. Breathe out worry. Breathe in calm. Breathe out tension. Breathe in love. Breathe out fear. Now, as you imagine a soft golden light radiating from your heart, this light represents your love, your compassion, and your intention for healing. See that light growing, expanding through your chest, flowing through your entire body, and gently surrounding you in warmth and peace. Feel yourself grounded, steady, and present in this moment. Feel your heart opening to love and connection. And feel your mind calming, your body relaxing, and your spirit aligning with peace. Now take one more deep breath in and slowly exhale. You're here. You're safe. You are ready to receive and to give love. Let's hold this energy as we move into today's gathering. With love, light, and gratitude. Thank you. Thank you again for everybody who is here, who is showing up to hold space for prayer and healing. As I go around, if anyone is comfortable and just saying where you're from, and if you or anyone you know is impacted by the fire, if you want to just send them love and light at this moment, please do so. Come off mute and share. Anybody in this room today have any words of kindness or light that they want to just share, or maybe just say where you are calling in from so we know where you are in the world?
Okay. Oh, Sadie, you start. Sunny.
Well, we are sitting here in Del Rey area, so not that far from the fires, and some of our friends have lost their homes, like so many of us, I think, have the same, tragedy, even though it didn't affect us but directly, but it's definitely, amongst friends. And so we're we're here safe and at the same time, of course, wanted to help and share, the feelings.
My prayers and thoughts to your friends. Isabel?
I'm in Hollywood or in the area of Hollywood. I do know of people that have been affected, but I'm just excited that we're doing this because I 100% believe that we are very powerful together. We're powerful alone already, but we are even more powerful together. So I love that we are directing the energy towards healing for those who need it. Thank you. And I'm sorry I sit like this, but I have to feel the sun on my back, and it's just the most comfortable place right now. So you don't see me, but hey, I'm here.
Yes, thank you. Those were beautiful words. Thank you for being here and holding space with us.
I don't know how to. Thank you. Did you just unmute me? Thank you. I'm Corinna, Isabel's sister. Hello. And yeah, so I know the same people that Isabel knows that lost things, and I do think it's a huge time of. I mean, I kept saying it's gonna be, lots of changes because I know and believe that life is well, we're being washed up to our truth. So everything gets risen, and the last dark corners get really a big light on it. And I knew there's a lot of change, but I didn't think it's going to be like that. That so many people are suffering through this shift of something greater that's coming. So yeah, I agree with Isabel. It's beautiful. The more people that come together with the same mindset, the more we can be of service to our environment and to ourselves. So that's nice. Thanks for putting this together, Margarita.
Thank you, and my prayers and light for those that you know who've been affected by the fires. Thank you for being here. So as we move forward, and Sanni, Isabel, and you said it was
It's Corinna.
Corinna. Thank you. Sorry, and Hendrik. We're just going to spend 1 minute in silence and in prayer for them at this moment before we move forward. Thank you. Thank you. It's so important to send prayers every time. I know that we say it, and sometimes we say it so freely, but we don't actually do the act of prayer. We take advantage of it, I think. For me anyway, my experience is that for me, when I say sending you prayers, I'm like, oh, I get to actually send those prayers and not just say I'm sending the prayers, because even if I say that, I'm sending love and light to them, but the prayers aren't reaching high above and coming raining down upon them. So it's really important to really take 30 seconds to a minute to physically go through the prayer in your mind, in your heart, because it does radiate and it does create an impact on those that need them. So thank you for holding space for us today. And as we move forward, as I said, I have two very special guests here today with me, who I'm so honored and grateful that they heard the call and were willing to just drop everything and come here today. So I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being here. So Sandra, who's also known as Sanni, she is a designer and space creator. She's passionate about designing spaces and clothing. She's created healing houses in Los Angeles, Germany, and Tenerife, where people can connect through art and music, experiencing profound healing. And as a mother of 4 sons, she possesses boundless energy and strong problem-solving skills. Connection is vital to her, not just online, but also in person and heart to heart. So today she's going to lead us on a beautiful meditation. Sunny, mahalo, thank you for being here.
Thanks for the introduction. Since we're all friends with Isabel and Corinna, they're dear friends of us that were just in our backyard, and we had a little, gathering just in person, which I always enjoy, seeing people really, face to face. And yeah, so it's nice though to have this room open here, and I wanted to create the space for a little meditation before we switch over to Hendrik. So I think since we're all used to meditating and we're all probably having our own kind of way to do so, I thought of not really leading or talking much, but maybe give some tunes, some sound frequencies, and basically just feeling inside and doing. I like to do Vipassana, so just kind of scanning the body and letting thoughts come through and not reacting. So I hope that little like sound from my sansala that I have is like this instrument. I like to carry this around, and when I feel like I need some peace and quiet, just helping with the frequencies of little music, and I hope that helps you guys to relax and just go deep into your heart space. And this always feels good for me to open my heart and just kind of spread the love, spread that feeling that we have inside our hearts. We can, maybe do that together and then have silence for, let's say, 15 minutes. And to go there together, I would like to talk you a little bit into the feeling that the meditation that I do. So close your eyes and focus on your heart chakra and feel how your heart opens up, and we expand our love into the room we're in, the space we're in, and then make that feeling, that love spread into your neighborhood. And the more we open, the more we can expand the love energy and feel how our love in our heart grows more and more. And that energy can go further into all of Los Angeles. Now that our energies meet and spread out, we can reach all of the areas that are affected. And we send love and light and sunshine there. And maybe we can envision how this area that is still gray and dark actually starts freeing itself of that burden and the ashes. And we can envision how that love sparks new life and hope and possibilities. And we just envision the most beautiful colors and things appearing and blossoming, and growing. And all that coming from our heart space. There's room for many, many beautiful things to grow and flourish. And everybody can go into their own thoughts and feelings and opening up to be a vessel for whatever wants us to do what we're supposed to do. That we've been sending all that love to the areas of the fire, I'd like to expand even more and open our hearts to surround the whole planet with love and light and all positive thinking, and just send our love everywhere into the darkest corners of this planet. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be liberated. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be liberated. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be liberated. Thank you, everybody. That felt really nice to me. Thank you.
Namaste. Thank
Namaste.
you. That was lovely. Does anybody here want to share what opened up for you? In what clarity or anything that opened up in your heart or in your mind during this meditation? I'll go first. Thank you. I haven't gotten a chance to meditate today really fully on opening my heart to the community and to the world. So that was beautiful. Sanni, thank you so much for allowing that space for today. And I felt sadness. I felt overwhelm. I felt a sense of defeat in the air, in the energy. And as I was focusing on meditating, my hands got really hot, really warm. And for me, that indicates that there is healing that is needed. So I instantly directed my hands forward to send that healing out, and it allowed for energy to move through me. I was yawning, and I even started coughing, and coughing usually for me is a sign of like hard energy that's moving through. And so what that led me to believe was, one, there was that healing needed for me, but also heeded whoever's watching this either today or a year from now, there was healing that needed to happen in that moment. And I felt like it happened. So that was beautiful. I've being more intentional about feeling energy in my body and how I can help direct it. And I truly feel that energy can be given to others and healing at a distance. And so I hope that you receive this healing in the light and love that it was delivered and sent to you today. And I know that you could feel Sanni's beautiful heart in her meditation and the space that she really held for us. I felt it, and which gave me the ability to feel and experience what I did. So she is a powerful woman. Thank you for that. Before I go on to my next host and guest today, does anybody else want to share Any thoughts of wisdom or light that came through during this meditation?
I can share the vision I had. Because if anybody is seeing this while the fires are still burning, what I saw was like a Käseglocke for the German ones. Like I saw this dome. I saw this dome that I put over the fires. First, I was breathing over it, like I was blowing out a candle before I was meditating. So I saw myself blowing onto the areas, went to the areas, and from above I just blew over it like I'm blowing out a candle. And then I put this dome over it to contain the fires. So this is just a visual that I'm sharing now for anybody who wants to participate in the future or see that with me. Um, because I was mostly concentrating, if not, I was only concentrating on ending the fires. So thank you, Sanni.
Thank you. And there is very much power in visualization. There's so many people around the world who do intention healing, and it's the visualization. The more specific in your visualization and your intention that you can get, the more powerful that healing and energy is directed. So thank you, Isabel, for that beautiful demonstration on how we can really impact the fires, and by visualizing them getting snuffed out like a candle. Thank you for that beautiful visual for us.
Thank you for giving me a chance to share.
Yes, go ahead, Karina.
Thank you for unmuting me again. So then I'll share my visual too, which was immediately like it was golden light, but it was going over everything. Like as we started with ourselves, and then we were meeting, and it was all going like over the whole planet, but it started here and it was going to the fires, and it actually, this golden light was so cool that it could go over the fires and just distinguish it. And we also met as golden trees, and all the, everything is connected, and the roots were connected, and we are these solid golden trees that we're holding in different areas where we are. And then, and then of course it expanded outside of this state and everywhere, and it went beyond the world itself. But the visual of this rushing of golden light that was immediately going over the earth, over the ground, and then also rising above, that's cool. So that was my visual that I'd like to share as also an idea for whoever needs not.
Thank you. I heard someone recently say that it's hard to meditate, but even when you're in a bathtub relaxing and you're able to kind of let the noise disappear for those 20, 30 minutes that you're in the bath, that's meditation. And visualization is also a part of meditation. And so I just wanted to share, and I love that we're sharing what that looks like and how easy it really can be to meditate. Isabel?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the power of the mind and the power of truth, of our truth, is defining our experience. That's my understanding of the world. So if somebody says meditation is hard for me, it's going to be harder than just embracing that it can be easy. It's going to be whatever we believe and whatever we want to make it. So saying it's easy for me will open doors for it to be easier.
Yes, there's a famous quote, right? I think I'm going to botch it. It's like, if you think you can't, you're right.
Or
Regardless,
whether you think you can or you can't, you're always right.
you're always right. And that's so true. So in days like today, when it just seems futile to think positively, being in the negative space is only going to beget more of that fear, more of that isolation and destruction and overwhelm. So that's why I think this call and these people here today is so important to remind us that to focus on the light, to focus on the positivity, to focus on coming together as a unity, because light gets rid of the darkness, and without darkness there is no light. So it's about balance as well. So reminding ourselves to stay in balance and to take the time, 5-10 minutes, to just self-care. Self-care is so important in these times, because if you are not there in your right mind, mentally or emotionally, or even physically because you're fatigued, then you're not really doing a service to yourself or others. So please take time to take care of yourself, your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health. If you have to go, like yesterday's call, we talked about ways to let go of heavy emotions by screaming, by doing, energy medicine, letting go of overwhelm, by putting our bare feet in nature, hugging a tree, hugging others, hugging yourself. These are all ways to kind of help calm our central nervous system and our emotions in time, so that we can think clearly and move forward as the devastation unfolds. And the days ahead are for how we pick up ourselves. So with all that shared, if there's anyone else that wants to share what came up in the meditation before I move on. Yes, one more thought. I got you, Karina.
Thank you very much. I don't know. It's on my phone and I don't see where to. Thank you for doing that again. As you just said that, I just wanted to add what I find incredibly helpful in these moments of hopefulness. I mean, not hopeful when we're not hopeful, when we're in despair, is to be grateful, gratitude. In these moments of when I feel that and I start saying, thank you for my body. Thank you for my eyes. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my family. I don't know. I just go through this whole list. It just comes automatically, and it always shifts. So I am absolutely certain gratitude is one of the strongest energies that when we put it out comes back, because the more we're grateful for, the more we will see to be grateful for. So the focus on shifting away from that which doesn't feel good and which makes us feel so hopeless and afraid and we can't move. The smallest things, when we start doing that, it's just so fast how we can come back to being at center and having the awareness again that life actually is quite incredible and magical, and this too shall pass, whatever we're going through.
Yes, thank you for the reminder. And that was actually something that I was going to present today in this call, was gratitude, like lining up, like sitting down and taking just 2 minutes to write down all the things you're grateful for and all your blessings, and having a running list and looking at it daily, looking at it as often as you need to. I actually have a gratitude journal. And every time before I go to sleep and before I wake up, as my mind is awake, but my body is still in bed, I sit there and I say what the things that I'm grateful for, and I tell myself that I'm a loving, caring, passionate woman. I'm enough and I matter as well. Positive affirmations and gratitude. Those are the things that really have helped for me to stay grounded and my vision and who I am, so that when life is lifing, I'm able to stay centered and get back to realign with who I truly am, and not let that noise, cut me down by the wayside and get frustrated or fearful or whatever. So it really is like an ace in the pocket when you can sit and think of the things that you're grateful for. And so, yes, so important to make that list, so important to sit in these moments and count your blessings, because that really is all that helps us move forward. So
And then if I may add to, when you say you write it and you say it, because these are all tricks of power. So writing it is already a super trick. Writing in a color in blue, not in black, is also a little trick, because something happens with the visual of the color, and then saying it out loud after writing it is another trick that gives, and all of these empowerments that can help us to make this even more solid in its experience. So yeah, thank you. I love doing that too.
that's beautiful. Okay, thank you. So at this time, I'd like muted the wrong person. At this time, I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Hendrik. I didn't prepare myself here. He is our hypnotherapist, and he works specifically with inner child healing and trauma work. And that's his passion. His field of work is trauma healing and inner child work, as I mentioned. He also includes intuitive methods into his work. He's a certified practitioner of the completion process by Teal Swan, who's a powerful trauma healing process that uses a combination of techniques, including inner child work, to release and heal trauma. Since 2018, he got in touch with plant medicine in Peru and also worked with psychedelic integration coaching as a coach. So helping with the integration of plant medicine experiences such as ayahuasca, San Pedro, and psychedelic magic mushrooms have solidified his career in his trauma work coaching. Hendrik, thank you for being here.
Okay, I could unmute myself. Perfect. Yeah, thank you very much for offering this space and for the beautiful meditations that we had so far. And I was wondering what I could contribute when I was trying to prepare for this, and I noticed that I wasn't really able to prepare, and I think that's similar to how people were not really able to prepare for the fire coming up. So it's a disaster, and I think the feeling of hopelessness, helplessness, a lot of people will have. And my field of work is to look at all kinds of emotions with my clients, and I'm trying to make sense of how people feel with them. So a lot of people come to me when nothing else works, and we heard techniques today and all those beautiful meditations, sending love and light, and for some people this doesn't work. It just doesn't work, and the question for them oftentimes is, why doesn't it work for me? What's wrong with me? Am I broken? Why is it not working? And we are dealing, now I'm trying to kind of apply these concepts to the situation that we have right now with dealing with this natural disaster, or well, some people even argue if it was a natural disaster. I'm not opening this can of worms now, but it's just something that we're facing now that's so rare to experience. I hope it's a unique experience for all of us. So how do we deal with it, and how do we deal with all these different kinds of emotions that we have? There are people that have lost their homes, and it's pretty obvious, or for those of us who haven't lost their homes, it seems pretty obvious to understand how they must feel, or at least get some concepts of how they must feel. But then there are the rest of us who are still here, and of course we want to help, but at the same time there might be a lot of mixed feelings inside of us, and I just wanted to open a space today for these feelings to be present, and for all of us to allow whatever we feel to just be there and be felt. And when we talk about healing, I think it's important to know what we're healing from, and so to know that, to be aware of that, we have to look into the shadows. As you said, there can be no light without the shadows, and as much as we all wish to be in the light most of the time, we know that, as we said, there is no light without the shadows, so we need to be able to spend some time in the shadows as well, and to acknowledge what is there in those shadows, and what is there to be felt. And so I'm noticing that this oftentimes is a very unpopular field of work that I'm in, and I understand that, but at the same time, I think it's really necessary. And you mentioned balance, and I think balance is a great thing to try to achieve. And sometimes we get out of balance, and sometimes we feel negative, even though we think we shouldn't. We should be grateful that our house didn't burn down. We should be happy that all our loved ones are safe. We should be thinking this or feeling that. And then the truth deep down might be we just don't. We just don't feel it. We feel depressed or sad or devastated or angry, or well, there could be all kinds of unpopular feelings that are still there, even though they shouldn't. And so what I'm doing is I'm working on those shoulds with people, and I'm trying to open spaces where it is allowed to feel whatever emotion is there and to find out what's behind it. And the first thing is to acknowledge that we are feeling a certain way, and then to try to make sense of it. And in a lot of times, or actually every time, it does make sense how we feel, because there is something that we might not be consciously aware of, but in our subconscious minds, all our emotions make perfect sense. And this is where I like to invite people to go deeper and to see what there might be that they are not consciously aware of. Usually I'm doing this in a conversational way, so of course I'm working with people that then tell me what's there, and then they need to take some courage oftentimes to say things that they maybe feel ashamed of. They don't want to say, I'm blaming someone for something, or I'm jealous because they have something that I don't have. But allowing these feelings to come up in a safe space, in a space where people are not judged for their feelings. This can come up, and then eventually the light will then help to heal it. But to come to the light, sometimes we need to dig in the shadows. And while I'm talking, and the people that listen to me now might already feel it, that it can stir up some emotions, and I'm always inviting this to happen. It's okay. So the message that I would give out today is, it's okay how you feel, however you feel. And there's this wise saying, this too shall pass, and yes, that's right. And sometimes it's not the moment where it already has passed, and then we have to deal with it as it is in the present moment. So my invitation is to just be with whatever you feel right now, and accept the way you feel right now, and don't blame yourself. Even if you have negative thoughts or negative feelings in this moment, it's okay. There will be perfect reasons for you to have these feelings or thoughts in this moment. And give it a little bit of space. And then, depending on what comes up, you might want to look at the judgments that come up. Or just leave them be. And I would like to open the discussion about this. If you feel like sharing something, the people that are online right now, feel free to comment on this or say how you feel, what your thoughts on this are.
Yes, I have one question, a question for you that's come up. What would be, and you gave us a lot of really great sound bites here as far as staying present, be with your feelings, be neutral about them, no judgment, day to day. Is there an exercise or a technique that can help someone in the moment of really just getting too much in their head to just kind of release it in that moment? Is there something that you would recommend or that you advise people to do so that they can get back connected with their body and stay in the moment and let go of judgment?
Yeah, one good technique is to actually journal even the negative things. So a lot of people think, okay, now when I'm writing this down, I have these negative thoughts and then I'm writing them down. Am I not like empowering them more? Am I not making this bigger? But the reality is it's already there in the subconscious mind. And it's just honest to write those things down and then look at them in the light, so that those dark thoughts that people have anyway, when they write them down, they get into the light, and then you can work on them. Then you can, think about ways to reframe or rephrase certain beliefs. But first of all, it's a good idea to just write things down. Don't filter, don't judge yourself. Just write everything down. Take maybe 10 minutes and just write down all the junk that your mind is busy with. And yeah, in these 10 minutes, the rule is don't judge. Just do it. Don't judge. And in a lot of times that's helpful. And after a few days that you do this exercise, you will notice that things shift without you consciously wanting them to shift. It just happens.
I love that. It's almost like releasing it from your mind onto paper and like just letting it be. Right. And I think what's empowering for me in that exercise is that I can read it a day or two later or a week later and be like, oh my gosh, it's crazy how that moment was so real for me. But now looking back, it was really kind of silly that I was thinking that the whole world was going to end and my life was over, because now I've had time to think and problem solve and know that I'm not alone and know that I have things and techniques and tools and people and all this stuff that I can do. It's just really about not being judged. Like we're so hard on ourselves, so critical on ourselves. So it's so important that you really highlighted the not have judgment on your thoughts. Because that can really be our worst enemy, is our own mind. So thank you for presencing that, because that's key. Anything else you want to add on that?
Yeah, that's beautiful, as you said it. And even later when you read it, it's so important to have compassion and just acknowledge, okay, at this point in time, I was so desperate that these were my thoughts, and I have maybe grown out of this. But at the time, that was my truth. And I wasn't a bad person for feeling this or writing this down. It was just the situation that I was in, and I was, at the moment, honest with myself writing this down. So at that time, that was my truth. And a second later, maybe it had already changed. So yeah, because we change all the time. So, the moment you write it, it might already have passed.
I love that. Anybody in here wants to share, Isabel?
Yeah, I would like to, and now I'm gonna actually allow you to see me, I think. I would like to share my perspective on light and darkness, since I'm in this meeting, and maybe it benefits somebody, because I feel like we are the light. Light is information, light is consciousness. The darkness is a shadow. I saw a visual of if we are aligned and the light shines from here, there's no shadow being cast. When we fall out of alignment into the duality of our divinity, which is either masculine or feminine, they have all kinds of. We have a lot of understanding of what that means, masculine and feminine. I dealt with this a lot. Like I made lists about this in blogs. So when we are out of alignment and we are leaning more into either our feminine or masculine side, we are in shadow. See, if the light comes from here, it's straight, it's light. If it comes from here, it will cast shadow. If I'm leaning too much, for my understanding, let's say if I'm a very distorted feminine energy, which I was in the past, and I'm leaning too much into I love others more than myself, I will invite as my shadow somebody who loves themselves more than me, because it's always going to be a perfect balance. So the empath and the narcissist, yes. Or if I feel I'm not worthy, then I invite the one who proves me right. I'm not worthy, the one who feels he's more worthy. Or if I'm too flowing and have no direction myself, somebody will come and give me direction. It's always about balance to me. So it's like the light is the sun is shining onto the earth. Depending on where I stand, I perceive it as darkness or as light. But the sun is always shining. The light is always there. It's the information and the consciousness that we are. So I feel, because I want to say that, because I feel that if I say, yes, darkness is part of my life, I also invite this truth into my life. If I want to get rid myself of the darkness, which was my life goal, to come into alignment, I realize it's not about letting go of the darkness, it's really coming into alignment with the divinity that we all are, with the light and the love that we all are. So I just wanted to share that.
Oh my God, I got so much clarity. It made so much sense. And yes to all of that, Isabel. Thank you so much for sharing your truth and your wisdom. So powerful. While she was sharing that, did anything come up for anybody else that they want to share? Okay. I do have more questions for you though, Hendrik. So you tend to work one-on-one with people with trauma. What is one of the biggest obstacles that you see for people that prevents them from really seeing the wisdom of the healing? There you go.
Had to look for the unmute button. Yeah, beautiful question. And spontaneously, the thing that came up was they're trying to do it alone. I think trauma in most cases happens because people were left alone in a certain situation. And the healing is to not do it alone. So I think that's one of the biggest. I just had someone call me yesterday actually, and the woman had read a book. There's a book about the healing modality that I work with, the completion process by Teal Swan, and it's a great book. It explains the process in detail. And then this lady called me and she said, I tried to work with the book on myself, but it doesn't work. I get stuck somehow. I don't know what's wrong. And so I could tell her it's nothing wrong with the process and nothing wrong with you. It's just that the fact that you are trying to do it on your own is probably preventing you from getting the healing, because you need to have someone by your side, especially, and that was in her, like the trauma. She told me what the childhood trauma was. I could tell her, yeah, especially in this situation that we were in as a child, you would have needed somebody with you, and there was nobody. So the healing lies in not going there on your own again, even though you think, oh, I'm an adult now, I can deal with everything. And some people really, especially when they had childhood trauma, they harden up, they toughen up, they get very sustainable, is that the word? So I often notice that the healing actually lies in the softness that you had as a child, and have somebody with you that can help you guide through process or help you just witness your healing. Even if you do this on your own, like the process or the conscious work, it's great to do it not just on your own, but with somebody. And looking at the situation we have right now, I think communities are really key to healing in like on a society range. We need more communities. We need people to get into community and even do the deep work together. Feel the uncomfortable feelings. Do the shadow work together, not just on your own. And I think that's important.
And in your experience with people in trauma, that almost feels like a pattern. How much of that trauma pattern is from, because you work with inner child, do inner child healing as well. How much of that in your experience is a pattern that really was created in a childhood scenario versus new trauma?
The people I work with, I would say 100%. Things are starting in childhood. And it's not that, I mean, the definition of trauma and what people consider a traumatic experience, people might have different opinions on this. A lot of beliefs result from childhood. And if you were not in a supportive environment, you might not have a lot of self-esteem, or you might not feel very powerful when you grow up because you were not feeling powerful as a child. And one could argue, well, whenever you come into this world, everybody has the same powers and you have the light in you. I'm not arguing that, but it's maybe you know the story about the elephant that gets tied to a little tree when it is a just very little elephant, and then it grows up and it could easily just walk away from the tree because it's just a small rope and a small tree or even a bush, and the elephant doesn't know it's grown already. So this is how we still believe what we used to believe when we were children, and sometimes we need to become aware of those old beliefs. And so I would say, yeah, it's probably 100% of people, at least working with me, that have some kind of childhood trauma or roots of problems are lying in the childhood experiences. And then, I mean, that's something, let me add this, it repeats, it keeps repeating. So when somebody says, like, it's a typical case when a woman says, I always get together with the wrong guys, and this is a pattern that repeats, it's probably not coming from adulthood, from like the boyfriend someone had with 20 years or something. It's oftentimes something that's rooted earlier in childhood and then keeps repeating from there. And yeah, well, there are many examples that can be told. So it's a good idea to at some point address this pattern, see it, like bring it from shadow into light, then heal it, and then it doesn't have to repeat.
I love that. And I think another thing that came up that from what you were sharing, not doing it alone, in my experience working with coaches as well, is that you don't know what you don't know. You don't know those patterns. You don't know that, it can seem like a completely unrelated situation, but you're responding and reacting or creating the same scenario here that you are over here. That is the problem that you're trying to. So like how you do one thing is how you do everything is what I learned in this process. And so doing it alone is definitely not what helped me move the needle forward. What helped me move the needle forward in my healing was, one, choosing to be a yes for my healing, right? Choosing me. And then it was asking for help. And because these people can see how I was responding and how I was reacting, and they were able to hold a mirror on how I was doing that in my life and kind of almost creating that scenario for myself. Just like you said, it's like a pattern. It's our stress response that we adopted from childhood. So with that all being said, reach out to people in this time. Let them know they're not alone. It's hard. It's really hard for people. It was for me to ask for help. Really hard for me to ask for help. And I think it's really hard for a lot of people to ask for help because the way that I see society picturing is if you ask for help, you're weak. You have to do it alone. You can't show weakness. It's all like how I can get better than the other person. When in reality, who we are as a humanity is a community, is doing it together. How we can help you rise as I rise with you. Rise alongside, elbow to elbow, not stepping over you to get ahead. And I think that is the imbalance that we are all experiencing in the world, is that alone, is that mentality of thinking that you're alone, you have to do it alone, and then you have to be better than the person next to you, instead of how we can both make each other better by working together. And so I'm humbled just with you guys here today and the people that have already signed up for doing this Zoom healing and prayer that's going globally, because that is our nature. And it reminds me of the pure humanity and love that really is out there. If you look for it, if you look for the light, you'll find the light. So search for the light in the times of darkness and you'll find it. That's the message that I really want to portray and to extend to the world, and that you're not alone in this. Any parting words, Hendrik, before we end this session with you?
Well, again, thank you for creating this space and for letting me mention the shadow work. I'd also like to add that shadow works needs the right time and place. So when someone is like in the middle of a disaster, this is not the time to reflect on shadows. That's the time where you actually need to reflect on surviving, also focus on like the positive mindset, the positive thinking, how to go on. And then maybe a little bit later, when you are in safety already, then you can give yourself time to reflect on the darker side of things.
Yes. So in order to see the light, we must face our shadow. I love that message at the end. Thank you so much again for being here, Hendrik, and for holding space as well for us during what is very traumatic, for not just the people who are involved, but for the friends and for the community and for the world who is also in the nation who's also mourning with us. It's unfathomable, it's surreal what is happening here, but it's a reality that I think too many of us are now starting to see and live and witness. So this global prayer and healing couldn't have come at a better time, and I think it's so on point to what we really need as a soul and as a light being, and to just push forward when it just seems futile, all the other efforts that we've done. This is why it's important to, just like I said again, to reach out to those who might not even be here, just someone who comes into your mind, into your heart. Reach out to them, because it's their energy reaching out for your words of love and reassurance, and just letting them know that they matter to you. That alone can really lift someone's spirit, and within that, you're helping to raise the vibration of the whole world together. So your love and your kindness really can shift more than you believe and more than you can fathom. So it's times that we focus on the light and stop spreading more of the hate, stop even spreading anything that is not of light and love, because we need to rebalance ourselves. We need to rebalance the earth. We need to rebalance the energies and start shifting more towards the light. As Isabella clearly gave me a beautiful illustration and a visual about being aligned, because if you're too much on one way, you're casting a shadow. So with that, I just want to spend another 1 minute sending prayers out to those who are currently still without a home, currently without information, still evacuated, still afraid that the fires might reach them. So with the visualization examples that were given earlier, take the time now to send your most powerful visualization and prayer for our nation, our LA city, and the world as well. Thank you. So I have another beautiful soul who wanted to be of service and to share her wisdom and her love and light with us today. We have Tilomai, who is here going to offer a beautiful healing for us. So if we can just send our heart love and our light. And thank you. I'm so honored to have you here today.
Aloha, friends. I am just joining a few minutes ago. This was a beautiful frequency. Thank you so much for offering this co-created journey. I wish that I had been able to get on earlier, but thank you very much for this opportunity to join everybody. Wow, lots to think about. And as I was thinking about what would be helpful today, I've always got any number of books next to me, and this one I actually just got given at Christmas. So I wanted to ask you, our lovely host, just stop me wherever you say stop, and I'll open the page. It's called How to Be More Tree, and I'll start with that. Okay, just tell me to stop whenever.
Stop.
Okay. Oh, this is Be a Good Friend. This is the African acacia tree. Most trees are much less passive and much more sociable than you would think. The African acacia knows it's important to look out for your friends. When some antelope or giraffes stop by for a snack, the tree pumps out ethylene gas to warn its neighbors. I'm going to read that again. When some antelope or giraffes stop by for a snack, the tree pumps out ethylene gas to warn its neighbors, who can then release tannins into their leaves that can be poisonous to the hungry herbivores. So, like the acacia, look after your friends and make sure you share when scary things happen, although perhaps try to avoid pumping out too much gas. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Well, what came up for me was, when I was receiving that, was this beautiful symbiotic way that we come together as a community, and this multiculturalism, multi-dimensional, multi-idea oriented society that we form and that we resonate with, and we magnetize and find our tribe. It really is a global phenomenon. And this beautiful symbiosis of the description there reminds me of how in the forest you do see this beautiful ways that even different kinds of trees and species will have cross-species communication to assist each other. for the common goal of survival and to live for another day. So I remember reading about how when there's under, over the canopy of trees, there can be what's perceived as a threat. And then from the birds that can see what that is, they communicate in their bird language that's picked up and understood in part by other species who communicate that all the way down to the ants and everything under the ground. They're all preparing, all helping each other. So in these times where we have so much happening around the world, here in LA, of course, but everywhere we look, it just seems like this year, 2025, is the year in numerology. It's the year of 9 in the planetary world. It's astrology. We look at Mars. It's all about action. This is the year of action and the acceleration of the consciousness that is rising, the acceleration of everything, even the loss of illusions, the loss of pretenses, the loss of masks that will drop. So in these kinds of intense times, I often think about, wow, everything that we thought isn't. And sadly, in the case of people's homes, I'm not to diminish at all this horrific experience that people are going through. A lot of us know many friends or family, or we've gone through something right now. This idea of what is permanent, what can we hold on to? What do we return to? Where is home? I would like to start with, in my lineage, I come from a line of healers, and we call ourselves wayfinders many times, finding our way and helping others find their way, always looking for, and my mother's side, Pacific Islanders, going from island to the next bigger island, which they ended up from small outward Samoan Islands to Hawaii, where our family has been on the North Shore for probably over 100 years. And in those stories that are told and passed down, it's remarkable when we all have these incredible family stories of journey and finding our way. And any number of hardships that were faced in our family lineages, all of us have these collective family stories. And the piece of the story that it feels like we always gravitate towards is the journey itself. We never end up and sit and rest inside the final place where people find themselves. We spend all the time talking about that journey. The journey is the destination idea, but it's so juicy, it's so tasty. And in the moment when these really difficult things are happening, and I remember hearing my mother tell the story of how their family moved from the North Shore in Hawaii to California when she was 13. And it was just horrific because she would run to school with her bare feet, and everything was so different when she came. And also when they arrived, there were 5 kids and the parents, my grandparents, the small monies that they had sent forward to give to a relative had been squandered, and then they didn't have the means to get their own place. So they all lived in a room for a year while they started over. And this rebuilding and starting, makes me emotional, what everyone's going through right now, and having to really find within them this new home. And this is what's so incredibly poignant about these times, where we look for where we can feel anchored. And becoming the anchor to ourselves is the most beautiful process, because that is something that we can never get destabilized by anything outside ourselves. And this is part of the work that I really love to dig into with people. I find it so juicy to be able to, as Hendrik had said, the shadowy parts, all the ways in which we are looking for something outside and seeking and chasing. And instead, when we find the home within, we choose. And being powerfully connected to be able to line up with source is the most incredible always on feeling, because whenever we're feeling, I would say even sad, it's so normal to feel sad during these times. It's normal to feel compassion and grief or fear or worried what's going to happen. And when we're doing that, we're just simply not calibrated to whatever our source and higher consciousness, higher power is, because when we are, we always know that there is a divine way and path that's going to be made for our next journey, for that next chapter. So I find it tricky, to balance all that. And I call it sticky, because oftentimes a lot of unhealed areas within myself will want to trauma bond with things as a way of feeling that familiar feeling of instability, feeling lost, confused. And that's just an old program. And that's a template, that so many of us have, been working really diligently to disable. So what I wondered about how everyone is feeling, and I'm sorry that I wasn't here earlier just to know everything that everyone has already absorbed, but I would be happy to offer up a little guided meditation in the spirit of looking within and thinking about this idea of home and what matters and what we take with us wherever we go and what do we leave behind. Because as many of us got these warnings or evacuated, we did have to choose, like, what are those few small things besides, of course, the lives of our family and our pets, but what are those few possessions that really have that kind of value? Yeah, and how much of the stuff that we just have or walk around with stuff energetically, we carry with us, that in those moments, honestly, when we're about to face the final moment, let's say, and that truck is coming and this is it, I'm sure nobody thinks about all the stuff in their home. I'm sure nobody thinks about all of the extra hours that they worked and didn't spend with the loved ones and all of the ways they weren't connected. We think about all the things that we have felt deeply and lived. And that is our gold. Those are the possessions that belong to us, and that's the priceless. So I would love to invite everyone to just close your eyes. And I will start us off with a Oli, which is a Hawaiian chant. I'm not sure how the sound will come across, but it will help me sort of center. E ho mai ka iki mai luna mai e. O no mea. Huna no iau. Ona uhane e. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai e. E ho mai ka iki mai luna mai e. O no mea huna no iau. O no uhana e. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai e. E ho mai ka iki mai luna mai e. Our ancestors ask us to open our hearts. Please place your palms together so that you are creating some warmth as you press your palms together. And feel the heat between your palms, envisioning an orb that is a warm light and creating more heat. Envisioning this love between your palms, and now bring them slightly apart, feeling the energy, and envision the white light now coming from above, pouring down through the top of your head, washing over your shoulders, this warm light splashing across the front of your body as it washes over you like a warm wave of love and light down to your toes, curling around your toes, up the back of your legs, to the top of your shoulders, reaching over your neck, the top of your head, and just spilling over your face warmly, down your arms and into your palms, and feel this mana portal open for us here now. And place one hand across the other and place both across your heart, and just press now to anchor in this feeling and to welcome divine into your spirit now. And take some slow breaths, breathing twice on the inhale through your nose slowly, exhaling 4 times just through your pursed lips. Synchronizing your heart and your soul once more. And now place your palms open on the tops of your thighs where you're seated, your eyes closed with your gentle breathing. And just see if you can, through your third eye, the screen of your life in front of you. Imagine now that you are standing on the bank of a river, a private spot that only you know of, with your mind's eye seeing your life screen in front of you. Allow any unnecessary thoughts to just slide off the screen, and they will float into an invisible basket near the door of the room where you sit, where you can collect them later. And notice the screen is getting emptier now as you open yourself and become empty. And I would like for you to just glance down on the left side at the ground next to you, even touching your calf. See a little basket there, and pick it up now and just hold it right now, even with your arms where you sit. Just hold this basket in front of you, in front of your life screen. This is for the most important things in this basket. And see on the screen anything that just jumps out at you. What is the most important thing right now that belongs in this basket? And let it float into the basket now. And let everything else just float by. Just allow it to disappear and remove the things that are the most important thing, because they're coming into the basket. You're holding this most important basket. These could be people, they could be experiences, memories, whatever is the most important thing right now to hold on to. And just notice the screen is beginning to become clear with everything that is not the most important thing right now. Very good. And so I'd like you to place this basket down where it was next to you. Have it touching you. It's the most important things, and you need these things. And now notice on your right side on the ground, not touching you, just an arm's reach away, is another basket. You can pick that up now and hold it in front of you. And notice the screen has more things again. And in this basket, allow to float into this basket important but not now. Everything that is important but not now will float into this basket. Just allow it without judgment, without overthinking. It's important but not now. It will go into this basket. These could be projects. These could be opportunities, relationships, trips, anything that's important but not now will go in the basket. Very good. And now place this basket down on the ground and see now a third basket. It's a little ways away. You'll need to just take a couple of small steps to pick it up and return to where you are, this river's edge, holding this basket. This is to be given away. This is the basket of things that are no longer needed. And everything on the screen that comes on that belongs in this basket just floats into the basket. Just allow it to find its way where it belongs in the giveaway, no longer needed basket. And don't worry if there are other things that come onto the screen. You can place them in the other baskets they belong in. And just see that the screen is becoming quickly empty now that you have prioritized the most important things, important but not right now, and this giveaway basket. Just take a couple light breaths as you hold this basket and just allow yourself to feel into what's in this basket that is no longer needed. How did these things serve you in the time that they were needed, even if that need is no longer preferred? These could be soul contracts that are completed. These could be old ways of thinking. These could be unprocessed traumas that you are ready to release. Just take a deep breath. And we will offer up a ho'oponopono, the Hawaiian practice of energetic release, through the process of acknowledgement and forgiveness. Feel into the thing in this basket that you have been holding on to that has been also weighting you down. Allow this heavy thing to come to the top of the basket as a representation for the collective, unnecessary, unneeded, no longer wanted things in this basket. And I will offer up the 4 lines which you will say out loud to yourself, and I will offer additional things with that line. The first line for ho'oponopono is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Divine. I'm sorry for forgetting the magic that I am, the you that is in me. I'm sorry for being separate from you. I'm sorry for holding on to things that are not a match to the frequency that is you in me. I'm sorry. The next line, please forgive me. Please forgive me for forgetting who I am, that I have forgotten my divine nature. Please forgive me for connecting my path to yours for healing. Please forgive me. I did not know that I had these memories inside of me. Take a deep breath. And your next line. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to learn and to grow and to receive all of the blessings from the lessons. Thank you for this moment of being now at zero, at neutralizing and alchemizing all of that which has moved through me and made me more of who I already am. I'm grateful. And your last line, I love you. I love you, Mother, Father, Divine Creator. I love you for bringing me into this realm and this time and space, and for everything that I have become and that I now broadcast and offer to others because of all of the things that I release now. I love you. I love you in me. And now, with so much love and gratitude and grace, and the realization that everything that is no longer needed now was at one time the very thing we needed then. And when you feel ready, see the current that is ready to receive your offering, to send things back to others so that they can start their healing. And for you to then just be open and empty for all of the most important things. And when you feel ready, place this basket in the river and allow yourself to feel the love and gratitude, this openness and expansiveness as the basket is carried away from you. And now, when you feel ready, pick up the most important thing, the most important basket with the most important things in it. Pick it up now and hold it with a new understanding of these new beginnings, everything that has always been here for you. There is so much more space for now. And see now the important but not now basket. It is here safe for you in your protected, sacred, secret place by this river. You can return to it any time. And now hold this most important things basket and allow maybe one thing to rise to the top that stands out above all others. Is this a quality? Is this a behavior? Is it a mindset? Is this love? Family? What is the most important thing for you in your life right now? Let it rise to the top and represent everything of value in this basket. Take a few breaths and allow yourself just to anchor in this feeling of absolute knowingness, this clarity, this peace, this expansiveness, not hiding, not apologetic, no shame or blame for anything that has ever happened in our life, because it was all a blessing, knowing that it has brought us to this powerful now moment of new creation. And now just collapse that most important things basket with palms placed on top of each other one more time in your heart. Just bring this into your heart and just really feel this feeling. This is home. You have room for everyone and everything that matters. That is the most important thing. It lives within you now. you have it here in your home. And when you feel ready, you can come back and open your eyes.
I could have stayed there all day. It was very beautiful. Does anybody want to share what came up for them? I noticed that my important basket was really mostly family, community, things, love, things that weren't physical, material belongings. Very heartfelt, perfect for the way that our call went today. Beautiful tool to end this call with, for us to take away. I love the Hawaiian culture and how they are of the land, really one with nature and the elements. And it's just very beautiful blessing. It's a beautiful exercise. I'm left without words right now. But I wanted to just honor you and say we have here Tilomai. Is Tilomai, am I saying that correctly?
Tilomai is perfect, yes.
Great. She is a transformational teacher and healer. Her focus is on work that sits at the intersection of modern science and ancient practices. Her passion is to help people become the anchor to themselves and self-source safety and freedom so they can create a purposeful, abundant life regardless of external conditions. Perfect. Thank you so much for being here. Is there any final words that you want to leave us with today?
I feel like what's coming through is something that's difficult for me to accept sometimes, and that is that nothing is broken, nothing is wrong. Nobody needs rescuing, saved, or fixed. Assisting, supporting, holding space, offering compassion and love is different from all of that. The pure acceptance of the divine order in the chaos is where my heart rests, but it's something that my human struggles with. So I feel that it's prudent for us to just hold our frame, our spiritual frame, because this electromagnetic frequency that we emanate, it's absolute proven to go miles. I think it's almost 2 miles that it can be felt. So what we broadcast, this is the purpose of us staying open and empty without judgment, without the filter of any of our traumas. People haven't lived through traumas. They don't need to relate to their life through me. It's holding this empty, neutral place of absolute knowing beyond a shadow of a doubt that love conquers everything. And so the attunement to love and the frequency of love is so powerful that yes, we will become a collective force. This is a beautiful platform. Thank you so much. I mean, I can't imagine how much positive frequency we have emanated from this platform today. So just to stay tuned to ourselves before thinking we have to go to how do we fix or solve or keep ourselves safe, we will do so much more powerful good when we stay tuned to the frequency of love, and the connection we have with source is always on. So we always have access to it. So if we're ever feeling shadowy or wobbly or fearful or overly sad or consumed with what's happening around us, we just come back to this. This is you know, where the truth lives. So we can hold the love and compassion for others, even as we have this inner knowingness that there is some divine order to the chaos, and this incredible strength and resilience that we have as a collective society is always going to enable us to create something even more powerful with more love and more connection.
Beautiful words, beautiful wisdom, and just powerful light. Isabel?
That was to say thank you. But I saw Ava was waving earlier. I don't know. I think she wanted to say something. If you're still Ava.
Welcome, Ava. If you're here and you'd like to share, I'd love to hear your words.
I was just applauding. That was my clapping hands. Yay. That was really lovely. Yeah, I came in late, so I didn't get to hear everything that was going on. But I was able to be here for the meditation and for Hendrik's sharing and wisdom and Margarita's leadership. So thank you, everyone. This was really special and needed, especially since I'm out of state and it's been very challenging having husband and little one at home. So it was good to be able to connect in this way. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for being here. It must be tough being away, being so close to evacuation warning zone. And I'm glad that you were able to come here, find solace and light in community. We're so happy to have you. And with that, I just wanted to thank everybody. I am very humbled and honored, like I said earlier, that so many have come to want to participate and want to give back in this way. I know that there's so much more out there and so many more people who want to volunteer and who want to do more than what they're able to do physically. And if that sounds like you, reach out to me. I'd love to have you come and facilitate a prayer, hold space for just light. Talk to us about how our mindset can be shifted into positivity. Talk to us with guiding healing. There's a lot of modalities out there that really help with healing in times of crisis and trauma. So please reach out. Please share this with your community. Spread the word. We're stronger together, and through the ashes, we will rise together as a nation, as a community, as a global unified front. So some of the things that I took away today were to remember to stay present, take day to day, moment to moment. Don't get overwhelmed with everything that has to happen. Just what can you do right now in this moment? Be with your feelings. Be with your feelings without judgment. Be neutral. And empty yourself, right? Empty yourself from those things that aren't needed right now. Accept those shadows, accept that criticism, accept whatever thoughts and feelings are coming, just don't blame yourself or shame yourself. And then give yourself space. Give yourself the space that you need. Self-care is vital in moments like this. If you cannot give yourself the space for healing, you're definitely not able to give that space for someone else. And then be neutral. Journal any thoughts that are coming up for you. Journal any emotions and reflect on them. And know that this too shall pass. And as Tilomai beautifully said, love does conquer everything. And to remember to love yourself, heal yourself, so that you can show up in the light and the healing power and hold space for others to do the same. And be your own anchor. Be your own anchor, because nothing is permanent. Maybe death, but even then, some people would beg to differ. And share authentically what's coming up for you. When you are the permission for others to share, that is when healing really starts to begin. So be authentic and honest about how you feel. Don't sugarcoat things. Don't try to look good. Don't people please. Just really be honest and authentic with yourself, with others. And don't forget to reach out to those people that you love, and don't waste another day letting them know how much they mean to you, because that important bucket is always going to be there for you, and it's the most important. So remember to stay anchored, be kind to earth, to nature, connect. It's time to connect ourselves back to Mother Nature. She has given us everything that we need to survive. And it's times like this that we get to honor her and respect her, and let's come together with that. Any last words from anybody? Yes, I'll unmute you, Miss Karina.
Thank you, Margarita. Yeah, I just wanted to add, since thought is energy, I find humanity very often having worry thoughts when there's something going on outside ourselves or even with ourselves. The best thing we can do, if there's something going on outside of us, if we are not being guided to help ourselves, to be, involve ourselves into the situation, we cannot do that, then the best we can do is send the energy, the thought of trust and love and light, right? Because when we put that worry of, oh my God, what's happening, and the sadness and the sorrow, while this is quite natural for us to do, it's not supportive, not to us nor them. If we want to help them energetically, the best thing we can do is put that faith in there, that this too shall pass, and that we hold the space. Because again, thought is so powerful, and I wish we would have learned that in school. But this is a great time we're in, and we're all becoming more and more aware of how we can actually help ourselves and help each other and live heaven on earth, which I believe we're going to. So thank you very much for having this platform and having us all come together. I do know very much that the more we do this together, the more we are shifting like that. So thank you.
Yes, beautifully said. I could not have said it any better, and it's so true. And I 100% agree and believe in that. Anyone else before we go? Isabel?
Yeah, I just want to add, because I really love this, Tilomai, you were talking about, you had the book of tree, and I feel that I personally, I'm just sharing this now for whoever it resonates, the strongest I feel or felt or feel is when I see myself as a tree, deeply grounded into the earth and connected to source. I have this light shining through me, aligning me with the divine and with Mother Earth, or Mother Father Earth, Mother Father Divine, whatever. And oh yeah, I'm going too far. Just imagine this. There's so much I could say, but to be short, just this tree that is grounded deeply into the ground, as above, so below, as below, so above. So the roots that are growing into the earth are also growing into the divinity of, above earth. So just really oneness with all. Thank you.
Beautiful. Okay, and with that, I ask you to continue those prayers and spread the light and the message of this call so that other people can come here and seek light and lightness and find ways to just move forward in life again. So thank you again. Until next time, we'll see you tomorrow. May God bless you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Oh, it's just the four of us still here, huh? Okay.
I don't know it.
Margarita, I have to say, if you are up for it, I would love to lead an